Good evening. On behalf of the governing body of the City of Passaic, we welcome you to the December 5th, 2023 City Council meeting. In accordance with Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by resolution of the Municipal Council adopted on June 13, 2023, setting forth the schedule of regular meetings for the year 2023-2024. Said notice was published and posted on the City Hall Bulletin Board by the Office of the City Clerk. Please be further advised, due to COVID-19, this meeting will be in person and virtual stream via Zoom. Public notice and instructions for this meeting were published in the Herald News and posted on November 22nd, 2023 on the City of Passaic website, www.cityofpassaic.com, Council Agendas. Instructions are also available on the last page of this agenda. Please be guided accordingly.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Schwartz,
Present.
Councilman Garcia,
Present.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Present.
and Council President Scheer.
President, should we all please rise? Ma'am, may we continue? Oh, okay. Blessed are you, O Lord, King of the universe, creator of heaven and earth. We give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks that we may once again come together to do the business of the City of Passaic. We ask that you would guide us, give us wisdom and compassion to do our jobs in a way that would most honor you and best serve the residents of this great city. We give you thanks that over these specific weeks, we have been able to serve those that have the least. We thank you that as a city, you keep us united. We give you all the glory for all things in your holy and perfect name. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members of the council, if I could draw your attention for just a moment to tonight's agenda, specifically on item number 50. We are informed that at our last meeting where this was 50 was read for the first time, that a mistake was made. And the mistake is that according to that which we passed, the City of Passaic only gives one application for cannabis, whether it be for distribution, cultivation, manufacture, or growth, only one. That in fact is not correct. There is no limitation that this council has made as to the number of licenses that it may distribute in terms of cannabis in all of its factions. So if I may ask you to disregard what was in your packet and replace it with the new ordinance for second and final reading tonight. Madam Attorney, we have no problem in terms of substituting. I'm sorry? It's a resolution. We have no problem.
No, we do not.
Very good. It is proper to.
It is proper.
For the benefit of everyone here and everyone listening, thank you for joining with us at tonight's meeting. If you do not have a copy of the agenda and you would like to, you can access it at the city's website. And at that website also, you can read all of the information which has been shared with this council by the administration. That includes all the detailed reports, finance, etc. With the council's permission, we are on Roman numeral 4 of tonight's program. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President, members of the City Council, and those who are here present with us, including staff and department head members. Just to give a quick update as to some of the events that have occurred over the last few weeks. On Saturday, November 11th, we had our Veterans Day wreath-laying ceremony with our Deputy Mayor, Veterans Affairs, Minnie Hiller Cousins, along with members of our city who have served our nation. We had veterans come together, and as always, we honored all those who have served this nation. On that same day in the afternoon, we had a soft opening of the Albert Lawson Memorial VFW Post 10117. We were able to tour the renovated VFW, and we have an expectation that before the end of this year, the affordable units that have been constructed over the VFW will be ready and we'll be able to go and do a tour there and welcome the new residents for that specific project. We're excited that the VFW will be up and running, and this is the first time ever that all three will be coming together: the VFW, the American Legions, and the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, all coming together to serve the needs of our residents who have, again, uh, served our nation. We also were able to put up the Avenue of Flags once again on Passaic Ave, but we were able to expand that initiative and have the Avenue of Flags around Armory Park. So we now have two beautiful locations where we put up our American flag and express our obvious patriotism and great love of our nation, and as well as look to instill these same values in our children and the next generation. On Tuesday, November 21st, we had a $4 million grant presentation by our Congressman, Bill Pascrell, right here. We were joined by mayors Michael Johnson, Mauro Raguseo, and Ray Grabowski of Clifton, of I believe it was Hilden, and Kathy, if you assist, Mr. Mayor Raguseo was from.
Raguseo,
I'm sorry.
Raguseo, Mayor.
Yes, yes, but Little Ferry. I want to make sure it was Little Ferry, and they came together to receive the grant along with many chiefs of various police departments. It was a grant specific to the city of Passaic awarded $2 million, a hiring grant, and a total of $4 million for all the municipalities. Passaic received the largest amount, and we were extremely grateful for the advocacy of our Congressman Bill Pascrell in assisting us as we were waiting for that grant to add. We were able to send 7 recruits to the police academy, and now we will be able to send even more to the next class. So we're very excited about this. Again, I had mentioned earlier, had a turkey distribution that same day. We were able to give out 750 turkeys to needy families. I wanted to share that this year, and we understand that things have been difficult, we didn't receive any donations. But fortunately, we were prepared, as often we have activities throughout the year, like our family festivals, where we receive funding for the festivals by the organizations, and we had additional funds. We were able to utilize over $14,000 to purchase turkeys to ensure that families would not go without turkeys this year. I want to thank obviously all of the council members for your efforts, your partnership, and your hard work in ensuring that we do not forget about those in the greatest need in our community. Um, just for note of record, Council President Gary Shayer handed out 100 frozen turkeys and consistently made the joke to each individual person whether they wanted a frozen turkey or a live turkey. I thought it was a great joke, personally. All right, I only say that in jest. We also had the Thanksgiving brunch for needy families at our Dignity House located on Broadway on November 25th, where we had many families that received a free meal. And we want to thank ShopRite, Passaic Police Association, and community members that donated for this annual brunch for needy families. Also, on November 29th, we had a Passaic County Community Utility Assistance Day where I joined along with the DCA, Department of Community Affairs, through the leadership of our Assemblyman Gary Shayer, and we all partnered to provide community members information on utility assistance programs, which becomes especially important during this season where so many individuals, whether they're dealing with their water bill or their electric bills, and they get these very high bills, they were able to either negotiate a payment plan and in some cases have the bill taken care of for them. We want to thank all our partners, and we also have many agencies that joined together to provide resources and information of various services provided all the way from the state through the county and from the city. I just want to highlight the efforts, obviously, of the Assemblyman through his 36th legislative district located right here in Passaic on One Howe Avenue, because not every family member can drive all the way to Trenton. especially during working hours when they have jobs. So the fact that Trenton was able to make it to Passaic and provide these services to families and individuals, were able to take a lunch and come here and within 30 minutes get all the information that they need, made all of the difference. This particular day was very conducive again for working families. So I want to thank our assemblymen. I want to thank the Passaic Valley Water Commission, the BPU, and so many others who joined together, and the DCA through our governor's office. I just want to share that Friday, December 1st, our Passaic Fire Department received a new fire truck, a state of the art fire truck. Over $600,000 was used to purchase this new fire truck. What does that mean to our community? Obviously, we apply for grants and funding, and we have remarkable individuals that write these grants. We look to try to minimize the impact on our residents, our taxpayers, but more than just a vehicle, an apparatus, a state of the art resource. What this truck means is that lives will be saved. Considering the many fires that our fire department responds to, not just in in the city of Passaic, but through mutual aid, they have to go to other cities, whether it's Wellington or Garfield or Patterson or Clifton or sometimes as far as Newark. Our firefighters work together, and having the resources, the tools necessary to combat these fires can mean the difference between one particular structure, one home being on fire, or entire blocks going up into flames. So I'm very excited about this addition to our fire company. Also on December 1st, we opened up our synthetic ice skating rink in Third Ward Memorial Park. The ice skates are set up, they get sharpened, and children are very excited to go. They play hockey or just learn to skate. We have received letters and emails of children that said they have gone to New York and they have gone to actual ice skating rinks and they have learned to skate here in the city of Passaic, and now they're very confident to branch out. So we never know. A few years from now, we might get a couple of NHL players saying they learned to skate in the city of Passaic. I could only hope. I think I join my colleagues in that optimistic view. But I'm very grateful that we're up and running once again. On December 2nd, we hosted a free concert for all youth, not just in Passaic, but around the area. We had a globally recognized artist, Mr. Rubio Accordion, which translates the blonde accordion. He said when he was born, he had highlights, he was blonde. So we took him at his word. But he plays the accordion, which is not traditional for young people, but because he is a young musician and he has taken up traditional music, but put what I have been told a new, fresh flavor to it. I think that's what the young people say today, Councilwoman Mello. I wouldn't know. I'm too old. I don't know what the slang is. I knew fresh back in the day. But back to what I'm trying to say, it got packed. We had over 700 individuals at this free concert, and it went off without a single incident. We were able to address our youth, our family members. I was most impacted by seeing children under the age of 9. They came with their accordions and they played along with them. So apparently, it's a popular new instrument that people are taking up. I want to take this opportunity to thank Kathy Martin, the bonfire located in Patterson. It was Oscar Rodriguez. Oh, Omar Rodriguez that was with us. There was Wilson. Wilson from Bonfire, not Oscar. Wilson from Bonfire. Um, DJ Charlie, DJ Ramo, who performed for us, and as well as Mr. Jose Ayala, who set up the monitor for the event. I'm going to pause just to highlight the fact that Councilman Monk has brought a bunch of treats the day after I've committed to no longer have treats.
We just
Anyway,
lumped in with
back
the
to
Oh my God.
for 2 years he doesn't
Oh.
bring anything. The day after I say I'm not going to do treats for the holidays.
We're
All
gonna
right,
die
Council,
here.
is that on record? Listen, let me get back to the reports. Friday, December 8th is the deadline for our Adopt a Senior for Christmas, our program annually, to connect our residents with our senior citizens, to give them gifts or presents. I remind our community that some of our seniors, whether they're disconnected from family or family moved away, some of them don't receive gifts correspondence, or communication during the holidays. Our human services, our senior program run by Miss Francine Wise, our recreation department, we do wellness checks. We provide meals and oftentimes we make sure that they're okay. But it makes such a difference and has a huge impact when residents decide, even if it's something small, a scarf, a glove, or a letter, to send something to our seniors for the holidays. So I would encourage everyone to please participate. On Wednesday, December 6th, we're looking to have an anchor property tax relief rebate program of application for assistance. This will be held at Dr. Martin Luther King School, number 685 Hamilton Avenue, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It will be hosted by Assemblyman Gary Shear and an elected official at City Hall by the name of Hector Laura. Together, they will be working and organizing an information session for eligible homeowners and renters who can receive up to $1,750 in direct cash relief. For additional information, please reach out to the Assemblyman's office at 973-249-3665. For those that will be watching online, once again, that's 973-249-3665. I will instruct IT to post up the phone number on the monitors and on both of our cable access channels on Files and Cablevision. Also, on Wednesday, December 6th, we will have our pediatric flu clinic at our WIC clinic right across from City Hall, as well as on Saturday, December 9th, we will have our holiday in the park at Third Ward Memorial Park, where we will be utilizing the synthetic ice skating rink. We're very excited to invite everyone. Starting December 11th, stretching through January 6th, we will have free parking in the city of Passaic. We will be shutting down the meters and encouraging people shop locally. Shop at our local stores. It is one of the most positive initiatives we do within the city, and many of our small businesses thank us. The free parking utilizes the island parkings on Main Avenue, and we get so many individuals coming from other towns and supporting our small businesses. We often receive, whether from reports of our UEZ Urban Enterprise Zone or directly to the city, information from our small businesses that they do so much business during the holidays, and the free parking makes a great deal of difference. Also, Friday, December 15th, we will have our holiday toy drive. That is the deadline. We ask everyone that wishes to donate toys to please get them in by the 15th. As mayor of the city of Passaic, I remind everyone that I eliminated the practice of giving toys to children in City Hall, and rather we give them to the parents, believing that it should be an intimate encounter between parents and children. So the parents take them home and they give them to the children on the holidays. That way, the gratitude that is expressed goes directly to the parents. So we're very excited about that. On Saturday, the second, we also had the Main Avenue tree lighting dedication and ceremony. This year, I dedicated the tree and the ceremony to Mr. Will Smith. Will Smith, or Will Tampa Smith, that was his middle name, served the city of Passaic for 19 years. Every year, he drove the PBA trailer out there and volunteered his hours to help out children and families. In fact, he used to do this for a number of events throughout the year. Mr. Will Smith was present at our drive-in theaters, at our concerts, at our festivals, and he was most known for the car show that was near and dear to his heart to continue that tradition. He did not charge the city hours as he served our youth and our families as a volunteer for those activities. He often took pictures and posted them up online. But this particular event every year seemed to bring a smile on his face. No matter how many jokes I told during the car show, I didn't see him smile. But for some reason, the holiday tree lighting always made him smile. So we have dedicated the holiday tree, the Christmas tree lighting, and the event to Mr. Will Smith. I'm also excited to announce that yet another new parking initiative, adding 23 new spaces to Columbia Ave on land that previously was not being utilized, is underway and almost completed. So that is yet another new free parking lot for residents. We are at over 600 new parkings developed in just over the last couple of years for the residents of Passaic. We look forward to the new parking deck that just went out to bid that will be built right in front of City Hall for the residents of the city. That is my report for today. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, members of the City Council.
Mr. Mayor, thank you, not only for um, the breadth of your comments, but certainly the depth as well. I just wanted to get some clarity, if I could, sir, and that is, you mentioned 750 turkeys. Do you remember what it was just a few years ago, Mayor?
So I think a few years ago we started at about 300. It went up to 500. At one time, we had received large numbers of donations from the state police association and the union. This year, it's been tough around. We didn't receive any donations. Well, let me clarify. We received 12 turkeys from was that Seatown? That day, Seatown had sent us 12 turkeys, but prior to that, we hadn't received any donations. So we used $14,500 to purchase turkeys to ensure the families that did not have the resources would not go without.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. And in terms of gifts for the children, if we don't know what toys to buy for kids, can we simply bring a check made payable to the fund? Of course, not to the city of Passaic, but to the fund.
Yes, if you designate the check for the toy drive, you can submit it to the city of Passaic, and obviously it will go through our finance department, and we will make sure that that money is utilized to purchase toys for children.
And last point, in my role as an assembly member, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to join with you in terms of sponsorship of the various programs to alert people to their rights, to their obligations here in Passaic and throughout the state.
Thank you very much. It is my honor. I'm quite fond of the assemblyman of the 36th Legislative District, not so much of the council president of Passaic, but that assemblyman is a good leader.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any other comments for the mayor? Very good. With the council's permission, please. We're up to Roman numeral 5 of our agenda, minutes of October 12, 2023, City Council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made to the minutes as presented by the clerk? Seeing no lights at this time, is there a motion, please, to accept the minutes?
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. We're up to Roman numeral 6 on our agenda, hearing of citizens. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-1 at SEC, the council opens every public meeting for comments of the public. However, in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12, nothing in this act shall be construed to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation in any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the council will not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material, make statements which are considered bias intimidation, in which a person intends to intimidate any individual or group because of race, color, religion, gender, handicap, sexual orientation, or ethnicity, or makes these comments intending to harass or speak any offensive language. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion. If you would like to address the council tonight, we would welcome your comments, certainly. In order to do so, if you are not physically in City Hall with us tonight, but are home or another location, we invite you to please call us at 929-436-2866. That number is 929-436-2866. And please enter the meeting ID number, that is 898-9261-2341, 898-9261-2341. And please press 9, star 9, to raise your hand and to indicate that you would like to speak. Let me give you those numbers just one more time, if I may. Please call us at 929-436-2866. enter meeting ID number 898-9261-2341, and please dial *9. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone?
We do have a few people. This gentleman in the blue shirt asked to go first today.
If you'd like to address the council. Thank you, sir. And we need your name, if you wouldn't mind.
Hello, everybody. My name is Miroslav. I am living in Passaic 32 years. I am a house owner. I am living on 9th Street. And I do see a few problems in my area. I would like to bring them to your attention because some of them, they are related to safety of the residents. We have one business located on 19 Wall Street. There is at that building is few businesses. One of them is a Kaelin mattresses. That's what residents in the area don't like about that business. They are using to pick up the mattresses by using 53 feet long trucks to go opposite direction. And this was going on for almost every day, few times a day. They are going opposite direction, calling Passaic Police Department that always bringing up to fix a problem. Even by myself, I went to the Passaic Police Traffic Division. I was talking to the sergeant who is in charge of the traffic division, and he promised to take a look on it, and it looks like it's getting better. But it's so dangerous for all of the residents or anyone who drives in there passing that area, because it's the part of the 9th Street is a one-way, and the trucks, 53 feet long ones, the biggest one are driving in that area, few trucks a day. Like I said, after I was talking to the sergeant from the Passaic Traffic Division, it's getting better. They did visit probably the place, and it's getting better. But it was so dangerous for already like 2 years. Those trucks are driving in there. Mattresses are up to 7, 8 inches. If it's long ones, it's unnecessary to use 53 feet long truck. That's the one thing. And I am not sure how many I can bring up. If I can talk about another problems in the area. Also about the safety. The Passaic Street is like one of the main streets in my area, and intersection with the Wall Street, Passaic Street like making the traffic turn to the left to go on Wall Street and straight to the bridge. So many drivers do not see that the Passaic Street, which one goes straight, doesn't have a right. Those people are coming opposite direction. They do not have a right to go first. There is on a pole the sign of stop, but none of the drivers are taking a look on the stop sign, which one is on a post. Only they're driving, and I saw by myself so many car accidents. My neighbors are telling also so many car accidents. There was the stop line on the street, but it's completely erased. And in my opinion, there should be stop line and the note stop. That's going to protect many of the people getting hurt, or even sometimes could happen somebody going to be killed in that area. That is, like I said, I'm 32 years in Passaic. That the most danger intersection what I do see in Passaic, at least by me. Maybe they probably they are in other spots, but in my area, that intersection is so dangerous. Plus, we are getting right now 3 or 4 multiple apartments, like a huge buildings of the residents. Is going to be even more traffic there already is in the area. So please take a look on it. There is, in my opinion, it's easiest way to fix by making strong stop line plus a no stop. That's going to prevent from happening so many car accidents, even it's so risk for so many drivers or pedestrians in the area. Take a look. I made some notes to remember everything. Oh, we have the bridge, which one connecting Passaic and the Garfield. And because we got so many new apartments right now in the area, as everybody knows probably, there is so much bigger traffic of pedestrians. And they are making area also so dirty. We do not have special by the bridge any trash containers. I would like to request to put on one side and another by the bridge, so that's going to prevent of dropping a lot of trash in there. That's this. Let me take a look. Oh, and one more thing. I was calling traffic division so many times, and usually there is nobody answering the phone in there because I noticed there is no secretary in there. I don't know why, but like I have a friends in other cities, nobody has a problem when calling traffic division is nobody will answer there. But I'm calling on the non-emergency Passaic Police Department line. They're telling me
Thank you, sir. That's your 5 minutes, but thank you very much for being here and for sharing with us your concerns. Let me just get clarity, if I may. And you said there's no longer a stop sign at Passaic and Wall?
it was, there is the stop sign on the pole, but on the street, the line is completely erased. And all of the drivers,
Is that because of trees or?
no, by traffic, by car driving, tires are taking off the paint. So there is really nothing in there. And the drivers are thinking they do have a right to go first, but in the real, they not.
And you mentioned the bridge to Garfield needs a new trash can, and what else was there?
There is a few things connected to that. Also, if I do have a Department of Public Works, they are cleaning up the streets. They should take a look sometimes at the area of the bridge because nobody goes in there. At least I didn't notice anyone.
Good, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the council?
Council President, just a
Mr.
quick update. The stop sign is there, but I want to remind the council and the residents that the reason why we moved the bus stop off of Wall Street was to address the volume of traffic that was occurring there. And that's the reason why we moved the bus stop up to 6th Street. That's going to help to alleviate some of the issues. The crosswalk lines that seem to be faded and not replaced, it's because crosswalks require a curb cut in order to be there. And after the sidewalks were made, there is no curb cut there, so you cannot do a crosswalk there. However, we are doing a traffic study where we will explore the potential of a traffic light or something, because he is correct. The amount of traffic or the volume of traffic that's coming through there doesn't always stop or yield at the stop sign. So we're doing a traffic study in the area, but the first part that we addressed was moving that bus stop. And then Council President, he had addressed in terms of the trucks, the long trucks that go in there. That is getting better. Obviously, we're seeing that, but we do have some businesses there, like the mattress business or other businesses that do require, in terms of whether distribution or warehousing, these trucks. The police have been monitoring that, and trash cans will be placed there this week at the bridge. We will instruct DPW to do so.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor. Is there anyone else who would like to? Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening. Joe Condescenti, 170 Broadway. Council President, my first question here is the ordinance on illegal vendors.
I'm sorry, again, please, sir. Ordinance.
Ordinance on illegal vendors. You made an ordinance and you still have food vendors, you have all kinds of other vendors. I mean, it's worse than before. I don't know if there's anybody looking into it. My next question is, the property on 147, 149 Broadway, the overgrown weeds and trash is starting to pile up again. So I don't know what's going on with this owner, Alex Perez. Something needs to be done with this property. We're going on a year and we still got the same problems, and he's getting away with it. My next question is ordinance 2417-23, section 21, violations and penalties of the City of Passaic Code. That's for barbershops, massage parlors, and I think tattoo parlors and all that. But my problem I have here is the massage parlor. they went after them, and now they're all reopened. I don't know if you know that. Most of them are all reopened again. They work with no lighting, undercover, so nobody can recognize them, but they're still in business. My next question that I have, if I can send it over to the mayor, Paulson and Broadway, I would like to have the garbage can removed because we have residents that's using it and they don't listen. We have residents that live on Paulson Avenue. They come half a block down, they come over and put their house garbage in there. So I think the only way to solve this problem is get rid of the garbage can, if it's possible. These are my questions tonight.
Thank you, sir. Regarding your last question, you're suggesting that because people are using the trash can, that we should eliminate it?
Well, they're filling up with house garbage. What's the sense of that? If I got a can of soda, I can't put it in there because it's all piled up with house garbage.
And what would your thoughts be if there is no garbage can, if people simply
Then there
left
won't
their
be no
garbage?
garbage.
Where
Bottom
would
line,
people,
there won't be no garbage. They have to put it in the container that we have in the back of the building instead of on the street.
well, it's an interesting analysis. I don't know if this council, the administration would agree with your analysis. Massage parlors, it's been our understanding that the problem is that a massage parlor will close and a new massage parlor with a different corporate name and different corporate structure will take its place. Am I correct, ma'am, on that?
You are correct.
All right.
And
So,
we have addressed.
and a new company, whether it's bad, good, or somewhere in between, they have a right, according to law, to open, yes?
That is correct.
If they're legal,
We
yes.
have amended our ordinance to provide. for
They got a
that.
CO.
Very good. And your question about vendors, Mr. Carson?
Yes, illegal vendors, yes, we still have them. And it seems like it's getting worse.
If you can give the names of the vendors,
They're all on Main Avenue, they're all over.
if you can give
Madison
us the
Street, all
name,
over.
if you can give us the names, that would be very helpful. Anyone else
Put
like
me
to
on your
address the
payroll.
council, please?
Mrs. Wheeler.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Good evening, council members, mayor. Hope your families are doing well and you've had a restful sleep because Vineyard Place haven't. Now, I've been there for 30 years. 2008, there was a house built at 16 Vineyard Place. The owner at that time, everything was fine. Then it was sold in 2017 to this new owner. They came there April, May 2017. Summer of 2018 is when the loud music started. Then it's the parking on the sidewalks. Then it's the illegal parking wherever on Vineyard Place. And Vineyard Place is a dead-end street. You can only park on one side. We've been dealing with this for, I would say, almost 5 years now. 5 years. We've called the police. The police come, slap on the hand, keep it moving. Soon as the police leave, music go back up louder than it was in the beginning. Then more cars come, parked on the sidewalk, call the police again. Hardly any tickets are being issued to them. So of course, they're gonna do the same thing every other day, every other week. And because they're right across the street from myself and my neighbor, we get to hear it the most. The bass that is coming out of the music is so loud that we can't even hear the television. My daughter's room is in the back of my house. She can't even hear her TV. So my thing is what happens to our quality of life? Because we've had to deal with this for so many years. Why do we have to continue to call the police and nothing is being done? When is it gonna stop? Is it happening in your neighborhood? Would you allow it to happen in your neighborhood every other day, every weekend? I don't think so. So why do we have to continue to deal with this? And then when you call, sometimes when I call, the dispatchers get nasty. I'm a resident. I'm calling about a complaint of loud music. So You're getting nasty with me. I know it's 16 Vineyard Place. We already know. That's not the point. If I called, if the neighbor next door to me called, if somebody down the street called, you're still supposed to speak to them with respect. We are residents. We pay our taxes just like everybody else do. I just don't think that it's fair that we have to continue to deal with this and nothing happens to them. When is something going to happen to them? Then the police, when they come, it's like, oh, see you later, give a high five. Is that policing? I don't think that that's policing. I mean, there's a disconnect somewhere here where one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. Because one cop will come and tell you one thing, then another cop will come and tell you something else. Then you get the third cop that'll tell you something totally different. So you get different stories from different officers. Well, we can't issue a ticket. If the music is loud again, then we can issue a ticket. But if you issue tickets like you were supposed to, would the music continue to play as loud as it does? I seriously doubt it, because I know if I was hit with fines left and right, I wouldn't be turning my music up loud. So my question to the council is, what are we going to do about the loud music that's being played? Not only residential areas, but the cars also, because when we call the police, the next thing you know, it's a relative that's coming up the street with tinted windows, blasting their music. And what they do is they go up the street, then they come back to the middle of where we are, and the music continues to be played loud. So I'm like, wow. So what do we do now? I want you guys to tell me, what do we do now? Because right now our frustration level is high. So if I were to go knock on their door, and I know I only have a minute or two, but if I were to go knock on their door and the first person that come to door just pop them in the face, then I would be arrested because I'm frustrated. I'm not getting any sleep. I have to work the next day. Now, now let me go back, because I have a question about school vehicle license, number 2. Are they allowed to park on the street? Because now we have 2 of them parked on the street, which is theirs, and they work part-time. We work full-time, and we have to deal with this every single day. So my question is, what are you guys going to do about the loud music? School vehicle with parking license plate, school vehicle 2, I think it says. What's going to happen with that? I mean, how long do we have to deal with this? And I'm bringing to the
Thank you.
council
Thank you
as
for-
a warning.
Thank you for your comments. Chief.
Thank you. So this was brought to my attention today that this is a persistent problem. So I did some research on the matter. There have been 15 loud music calls this year. 66 summonses have been issued on Vineyard this year. That doesn't mean that this problem that it's not being addressed as Ms. Miller is saying. But as far as the loud music, usually the officer has to be on scene or arriving on scene when the music's playing. So what I think would be appropriate is that we take a different approach and have officers in probably plain clothes go there and catch them in the act. As far as the issue concerning the vehicle, the school vehicle, there shouldn't be a school vehicle parked on that. So we'll look into why that is happening and issue summonses for that. The motor vehicle, so just kind of sum up the motor vehicle issue from what I have in front of me, of all the summonses that have been given out on that location. I spoke to traffic today, 66 summonses have been issued. Maybe 80 need to be issued, but we'll look into it and see if there's a better approach that can be taken.
Council President, if we can just clarify, because the chief is correct that school vehicles, but Chief, I just want to clarify, I believe the vehicles through the council president, the resident may be able to correct this. The new plates that are being given to regular car vehicles, these aren't school buses. These are like a minivan or an actual vehicle, and they are identified. The ordinance and the law deals with commercial vehicles, where you have a commercial license and a commercial license plate. Those are not allowed to be on the street past 10 o'clock. the school vehicles, some people are using their personal vehicles
Vans.
as pickup, and these vans, they have license plate that may say school vehicle, but not a commercial
Right.
license plate. So the council may consider how to address vehicles that are being used for commercial purpose, but also for personal use, because that's what's happening. Some individuals are buying 4 or 5 minivans, using them for school student pickup. So it says school vehicle, but then the police are seeing them as regular vehicles. And then I just wanted to ask the chief to clarify, what if a resident records individuals with loud music? Is that the police have to be
They
present?
have to
when
be
loud
present.
music is
So when this was brought to my attention, yeah, what I think I'm gonna have to do is get one of our specialized units, the community response team, which works sometimes undercover and any in any capacity that we might need at the time to address this. Would probably be a more effective method of addressing this. Just also want to say something else here pertaining to this location. A surveillance was put in at that location. I won't identify the exact location that you mentioned, but when the surveillance was put in there for that 2-week period, the area was cleared, and that was from May 31st until June 15th, approximately a 2-week a period. That area is clear. So we can put in another surveillance, but also take those other measures to address the issue.
Council President, also to add a little bit more light on this, this is by where the Walgreens is, by
Yeah.
Broadway, which is right next to that senior building. So this becomes especially concerning, not just for the residents, but some of our senior citizens if there's consistent loud music. So obviously a follow-up, perhaps the chief can come back with a report for the next council meeting
Sure.
as to the efforts that were made.
That would be, excuse me, that would be great. If we could get some, as a follow-up. Ms. Wheeler, 66 summons is something. Right? I think that we would all agree. It hasn't solved the problem yet, but hopefully it will. Anyone else like to address the council? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Anne Marie Kane, and I think you're aware, I have spoke to Ralph Denon, the chief of, the captain of, oh, I'm sorry. I've spoke to, matter of fact, I have spoke to numerous people in this administration and the cops and and I am frustrated. I'm a lifelong resident of Passaic. I have never been so disappointed with the police department and the administration because my fellow neighbors and I have been dealing with this for 4 years. For 4 years, I've been kept up at night, and I've been told, I could give you every scenario what cops have told me over the years. But the famous lines that I've been told, keep calling us, keep calling us. Then you call somebody higher up, they're using their discretion, they're using their discretion. That's all I hear. When does it end? I went down at 5 o'clock Sunday morning to find out why the cops, twice they came to our neighborhood in regards to loud music on 1600 Place. Twice the same cops came. They heard the music. They were not issued summonses. I want to know though, the summonses that were issued, were they parking summonses? Parking. I'm talking about loud music. This is what is the disturbance. And I cannot find anybody in this administration, in the cops, in whatever. I'm so upset, you have no idea, because I can ask anybody and nobody gives me a definitive answer. Why, if there were any summonses in regards to the music, nobody can give me a definitive answer. So you tell me, after 4 years of dealing with this, the cops coming, fist bumping the neighbors. What does that tell you? Because apparently nothing's getting done. All I keep saying, you got to call, you got to keep calling. My sleep has to be disrupted, sleep deprivation. I have to go to work the next day. I can't function. I have to call out because of this loud music that continues. Now, I think I'm being discriminated against. Yes, I am loud. And do you know the other night when the cops came for the second time, they were going to give me a summons for just, I forgot what he was going to say. Meanwhile, they didn't give the people who were disturbing us a summons. Then I was told by another cop after I called Sergeant Edward, who was in charge. Another cop comes, and you know what he told me? Well, if we come a third time, we'll issue him a summons. How does that make sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to anybody here? I have called your office, Mayor, no response. I've called the chief of police. I have called everybody. Apparently, nothing's been done. In regards to these minivans, they do have school vehicle plates on it. And I have gotten legal advice. Now, I have it here, which I'm sure you're all aware of, the loud music ordinance. They can't tell me if they've been summoned. And then I was told that they can increase the summons, because I said, how about, let's suggest this. How about after $25, if they are good, why don't we increase it? You know what I was told? Only a judge could do that. Only a judge could do that. This is what I was told. But I have it here in front of me, and I can hand it to you, which I'm sure you're all aware of the ordinance in Passaic about loud music and the penalties. Now, in regard to the school vehicles, right? There's an ordinance in Passaic also with that. And I do believe that these minivans, because they're not yellow, they do supply children going back and forth to school. They're not registered here in Passaic. They're registered in Wayne, and they're registered in Lodi. They park in front of my house from Friday night at the end of their school until Monday morning. The other day, they were parked there from Wednesday at the end of school, right before the holiday, and they left Monday morning. I pulled my car in front. I had cops come to my house twice, knocking on my door Wednesday. Is that your vehicle? Yes, it is. Somebody complained it was there for over a week. I said, why don't you check your records? I said, I had called in regard to the two vehicles in front of my house that were parked there from Wednesday night to Monday morning. So my car couldn't have possibly been there for over a week. 3 o'clock that afternoon, I get a knock on my door. Another cop comes to my door. Is that your vehicle? Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me here? You're coming to my residence, my car parked in front of my house. Okay, it wasn't there for over a week, and they could have checked. What is this saying? Because you know what? I don't think anybody should have to deal with this for 4 years. Now, I want to know right now what is going to be done. What is going to be done on our street with the parking situation, with the loud music?
Thank you for your comments. What is going to be done right now?
Yes.
Absolutely nothing.
Apparently.
What will be done is tomorrow, I'm sure that the mayor will be scheduled to meet with the police chief and to go over all the items that need to be gone over and to make recommendations so that at our next meeting, Weatherly, when is our next meeting?
December 19th.
December 19th, if you would like to come back and join us again, and we would welcome you to do so, we'll hear from the chief what the thoughts are in terms of how to proceed.
Well, it's called the chief.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. I cannot give you more than the 5
No,
minutes which you
but
have.
you know what, then I
I
really have to
cannot
get-
give you, ma'am,
I
I
have to really
cannot
take
give you
legal.
more time than you already have. Is there anyone else who would like to just, yeah. No, sir, you already spoke. I believe what you would say is extraordinarily important, and at our next council meeting, I look forward to hearing it from you. But only one time you can go speak to the microphone. Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Brown. I reside at 247 Summer Street here in Passaic, which is on the corner of Summer and Pine. My concern is the painting of the yellow slashes on the sidewalks to where they cannot park there on the corners. I am a mother of a 2 and a 4-year-old that also attends number 7 school, which accordingly, my house is 1,000 feet from a school. I'm trying to figure, I believe another young woman that lives on my block, her daughter was hit. I'm trying to figure out how can we go about painting those corners back so that way they can't park on those intersecting corners. So that way, when the kids are crossing the street, going to and from school, whether it's number 7, 19, 11, the high school, because at 6 o'clock, kids are up and they're, getting ready to go on their regular day. How do we go about fixing that issue with the cars that's parked on the corner? If you look on the map where my house is, there's a corner store across the street, and then there's my house. Right there in that intersection, a car is always parked right there, and right there, when you're trying to cross the street to go down Summer Street, It's always a car right there. How are these kids are supposed to cross the street when these cars, whether if it's a truck, a SUV, whatever kind of car, how are they supposed to see when they constantly have to go like this around the car to get across the street? Now, mind you, number 7 school is a early childhood development school. How can we address that issue? My next concern is box trucks. When they're parked on my block on the corner of Summer and Pine, like I stated, Pine Street, box trucks, I don't know if they're commercial box trucks. They generally don't have any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? No type of acknowledgement of what type of business they are. Now, recently I had to call DPW because they knocked over the tree that was on the side of my driveway because the box truck wasn't supposed to be there. How do we go about addressing that? Do we call the police? Do we call the tow trucks? Do we give you the information like the license plate number? How do we go about that? Because now what it's causing is it's causing a parking issue for the residents that actually live in that area. My final concern is being that my intersection is the first intersection at the bottom of the hill. Can we talk about getting some type of like a caution, like how we had it on what is that, Myrtle, and that intersection street by the liquor store? It flashes red one way, flashes yellow the other way. Because again, 6 o'clock in the morning, kids are up getting ready to go to the school. The street lights, they on, but they're not as bright as I think that they should be. I was told to call PSENG. I've done that several times. I guess they'll address it when they can. And that would be about it. That's my only main concerns is the children, because we are 1,000 feet within the school, whether it's 19, 7, 11, the high school. I'm up 5:30 every morning. So I feel as though the kids' safety is more important than anything else. But if the kids can't cross the street and they don't have the proper lighting, and then we used to have a crossing guard on the corner. When I was coming up, I lived there all my life. I've been in the city of Passaic forever. When I was in school, we had a crossing guard right there. Why is it there not a crossing guard right there anymore? If you're not going to put it at Spruce Street and Federal, why is it not Summer and Pine Street at the bottom of the hill? Because from 5 in the morning to late at night, cars are flying up and down that hill to the point where sometimes these cars rattle my house. Maybe about 12 to 13 years ago, a drunk driver ran into my car. Okay, I know my time is up. The car ran
1 minute, please.
ran into my house. They missed the telephone pole, and the car was pretty much in my living room. Again, it's many years later. Obviously, I was a child, so it was something that I couldn't address, but I'm addressing to it now. So my question is, can we get that, at least a safety light or the blinking stop signs, whatever that can be lit? And as far as the yellow tape is concerned, once we get that addressed, are we going to start patrolling the areas to ticket these cars that still continue to park there because they think it's okay? Or are we going to tow these cars from these corners, whether it's Summer and Pine, Spruce and Federal, what's the other street, Cedar and Summer, things are like that. That's all I have to say at this point.
Ms. Brown, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
For pointing out this problem. And I'm sure that this will be another item for the chief and his people in the mayor to discuss and come up with some recommendations.
Okay, but as far as the painting,
I'm sorry?
the painting of the yellow line on the sidewalk.
I'm sure that will be part of the conversation that
Okay,
they have.
that's only my concern because I'm a corner property.
Very
That's
good.
all I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
it.
down. Anyone else wish to address the council?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Parker Joseph Brown Jr. I too live at 247 Summer Street, and most of my concerns were taken care of by the person that preceded me. But I have two items that I'm curious about. One is the address 210 Summer Street and 214 Summer Street. I've lived there for over 20 years at 247 Summer Street, and I had to look this word up because it perfectly fits. The word blight. That property has been disregarded, neglected. I quite literally, as I take my niece to and from school, have had to figure out really creative ways of explaining why it's like that. I've run out of reasons, and I'm very eloquent with my words, but no, to a 4-year-old, I can't explain why for a year now, over a year, because she goes to school, and every day we're walking to and from school. She's like, "What's that?" That's a new bug that I now have to explain because there's some type of leaf or foliage that has been neglected and not taken care of from there. Yeah, that would be the first one. And the second one is on my way here, I was traveling down the newly renovated 100 steps that I love so much. And I noticed something as I'm going from down, not up. The lights don't come on. And I literally almost unalived myself accidentally while walking down the street. And then I get to the bottom and I'm like, let there be light, as God would say. The light comes on. I can't understand why, for some reason, there would be a light when you come up. But if you come down, there is no light. And since we're on the issue of safety, one last, while we're on the traffic, I walk and run all hours of the day in Passaic. Sometimes it's jogging, sometimes to and from, as I am a business owner and I have to go from one side of town to the other. I'm to the point now where people ask me to come out places, and I'm saying no, because I cannot guarantee that I won't get sideswiped or, once again, unalived by a vehicle that I never heard coming. Silent. It could be an electric motorcycle. I mean, one time it was literally a water delivery person. I can point out the store. I know where he works. Videography is what I do. So trust me when I tell you, oh, I have tons of footage to show exactly who and what it is. But that's not where I'm here to do. I'm actually here because I love this city and I want to be a genuine solution. If you look for dirt, you will find dirt. So I'm not trying to go do that. We all have issues, right? But I shouldn't have to tell people, no, I can't get there because I can't guarantee that I might and be gone. That was me making a joke, but I am so serious. I have to laugh and make a joke of it because otherwise my anxiety would get the better of me. Those are my questions, and I thank you for your time. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for raising the issue on about 210 and 214 Summer, as well as the light by the 100 steps. And we will spend some time in the next 2 weeks or so going over these and seeing what kind of answers we can get.
Thank
And
you.
thank you. Thank you for being here, Mr. Brown. Anyone else wish to address the council?
On Zoom, we have Ari Mack.
Mr. Mack.
Yes, good evening. I have a few concerns tonight. Number one, my address to the council is lighting when I've been walking around and commuting through the city of Passaic for a while, and lighting in the tunnels of like underpasses is very, very dim. And also, it's bad for security purposes. And we've been speaking about safety concerns. And it's not safe to have underpasses dark at night. And it's scary. Many times I try to run through those underpasses because I don't know what the heck is going to go on. If sometimes I don't even go through underpasses because I'm scared. My second concern is these new poles from Peace and G on Main Avenue. They're smack dab in the middle of the sidewalk. Now, I'm walking on Main Avenue and I'm gonna be, and I don't see them at night. And you're gonna be if you're walking in the middle of the sidewalk, you're gonna hit that pole. I'm asking for the council to call PSG and just move at least a foot or two further towards the left, because where it's normal, where the pole was, where all these poles was, that makes more sense. But now it doesn't make any sense because you're going to hit those poles and everyone has to move around these poles just to walk. It doesn't make any sense to walk around these poles. I don't know who's the engineer for this. It's not right. My third concern tonight is these bikers. Whenever I'm whenever I'm on a meeting, I live on Howard, and I hear these bikers every night at 6 p.m. on a Saturday. Every single day, I'm doing my own things. Every single night, I hear these bikers, and I've spoken to officers, and then you know what I get? I get disrespect from these people, and I'm sick and tired of these people going through the city. I don't want the city of Passaic to become like Patterson. Patterson is worse than Passaic. Patterson is worse. And I'm saying this as a resident of Passaic. Right now, the city of Passaic is very, very nice. But I'm saying as a resident, we got bikers that are very dangerous, and we got bikers that are flying through and blocking traffic, and I've been calling the police, doing my job, but I get disrespected. But I'm saying we need to fix this problem, and I hope we get this problem fixed, because we shouldn't be concerned about traffic. We shouldn't be concerned about gang members of doing wheelies and all the dangerous stuff in Passaic, because we need a safe Passaic. We need it. So I hope you understand my concerns tonight.
Very good, sir. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else like to address the council?
We have Amir.
Amir?
Good evening, Council. I just have a small question about overrepresentation in the City Council. 42% of council members seem to be Jewish when there's a lot more niggers in New Jersey than Jews. So what's the deal with
Sir, I suggest you contact your local officials, state officials, county officials, and let them know of your concern. I'm sure they'd be most interested.
Council President, you may have not heard, but obviously at the end of that, he used a derogatory term using the N-word. I'm not sure if that
I'm sorry,
came.
he said what?
The N-word. I'm not sure if you heard that. I don't know if it came
I didn't
through.
hear that, man.
What he
Thank
stated
you
was
very
the
much.
42% was the N-word, and we will not tolerate such language, offensive or derogatory terms to any group in our city. We have a diverse representation of individual thoughts. I ask that our IT please monitor this. We understand that there are individuals that seek attention. However, we are a diverse city that celebrates our diversity, and the representation is extremely diverse from backgrounds, upbringing, professional experience. But we will not tolerate such terms or language, and we will stand up for every segment of our population. Thank you.
Did you get that, Mr. Rosenbaum?
He's muted. I can't speak.
You hung up?
No, we have him on mute.
Why don't we take him off the call and not answer his call? Because anyone who is so stupid, so vile, so disgusting does not deserve to be spoken to by rational human beings.
He's out.
Please cut him off. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council?
There are other names.
I'm sorry?
There are other people here.
There are other people. Okay, who's next?
Tony Martin.
Mr. Martin. Are you on the phone, sir? Mr. Martin?
I believe IT has to unmute them.
I did.
Mr. Martin is not answering. Why don't we hang up the phone on Mr. Martin and he can call back? Who else do we have?
We have William Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am. Good evening, City Council. Am I coming through all right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. My name is William Cooper. I've lived in Passaic for about 14 years now. I would like the city to draft a resolution that affirms the plan to send the Yarmulke niggers to the county.
Hang up the phone call.
Bubble it, blue gum niggers.
Hang up the phone call, ma'am. Is there anyone else who wishes to espouse their stupidity, low-life, racist pigs?
We have a lot of people with weird names. Now we have someone just under the name of participant.
Yes, hi, my name is Joseph
A
Wolf.
participant phone call.
That's Mr. Wolf, I believe, that's on.
We will not accept a phone call that is not identified by name.
Is there a way to require people to have a phone number listed and for us to call that number to verify?
Presently, and we have checked with our attorney, there is no legal requirement to receive phone calls online. It is a courtesy that has been extended to individuals in the community. We allow for in-person meetings and communications at any time. Through the council president, he can end the communications online. However, for those that are watching and those that are present, we understand that individuals may have goals to seek attention or to shock. We understand that there is obvious freedom of speech, but our meetings will not tolerate this language. And at any time, as the council president has done so in the past, he can end the communication online. We are not required to receive communications online. Individuals can come in person, and if individuals have disabilities and are unable to come, they can communicate directly via email to the government, and we can relay that information to the council. We offer it as a courtesy for those that cannot make it in person. But again, I'll reiterate, there is no legal requirement to be online. It seems that there are a number of individuals, I'm sorry, it seems to be a number of individuals that believe they're going to, what has often been referred to as hijack our meeting. That will not occur. So at the council president's direction, I know the last name is a recognized name, but we do not have to take anyone if we do not recognize their names or if they do not give an address and a phone number.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam Attorney, is it within the purview of the council president to require that if people wish to participate in public session, that they call and leave the number and the city will call them back during the meeting? Can that be done?
That can be done.
Does that need a resolution, or is that simply within the purview of the council president?
It's within your purview, and
So be it. Madam Clerk, from now on, with the concurrence of my colleagues, if you wish to participate by telephone at this meeting and in future meetings, you must contact the city clerk during regular business hours, share with her your name and phone number, and at the next council meeting, we will call you, confirm who you are, and allow you to speak at that time.
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council?
We do have people with strange names again and someone with just a phone number. Do you want to take those?
How many do we have?
4.
I believe one was Mr. Wolf, which has called in the past. Is that the same, Mr. Wolf?
Let's see.
Who are the names that we have, ma'am?
They're unmuted. The phone number 9.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. Hi, good evening, Council President. Good evening, Mayor Hector Loris.
He's called before.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. I do want to ask the council, it's come up in the past about tax pilots, and the mayor has been very vocal that business owners are also residents of Passaic, although many investors are not from Passaic. But I do want to bring out that the state, and I believe this is a state ordinance, and I think the city follows this as well, the council has advised that homeowners are also entitled to tax abatements. It's a step up of 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and by the 5th year, you're basically paying for the full new assessed value. But the problem is that you're only capped at very, very, very minimal amounts. For a house, you're only able to get $25,000 of improvements. That's the max. The max is $25,000 of your improvement could be used in that 5-year step up. If I understand, I thought it was actually $25,000 in taxes, but I confirmed with someone who just went through this. He's saving a few dollars a year, and he's put tremendous amounts of money into an old house in Passaic because so many of these properties are old, just like by the planning board and the redevelopment authority, they say that these properties are old. Behind all these frontages and buildings, there are actually houses that are in the same old condition. They should be entitled as well. And it doesn't seem that, I would say, I'm sorry for using this word, it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair that people take old houses that need work, they put money in legally with permits, and they're maxed out at such a low amount. That's my first concern. I would also like to ask, I would say this to the mayor, even though this is a council meeting. There are many, many cars in the Passaic parking lot across from City Hall, older cars. And I know that sometimes people need cars. And I know Enterprise closed down on Main Avenue. This still hurts car rental. I'm wondering if the city would be open, with all the creative ideas that come up, to having a car rental, a daily car rental that the city takes these old vehicles, they rent them out for minimal amounts or more than that. And you can't take them overnight, so that you don't clog up more streets with cars. And we're having a nice parking deck showing up soon across from the City Hall, and people could pick up the cars and drop them off, and some vendor could step in and take care of it. And maybe that will even allow people who don't really need cars just to, borrow a car or rent the car and not need to park one in front of their house. That's what I wanted to ask. I also want to just say again, the planning board in Passaic has been over the years such a source of problems. Not the past few years, I mean over the past few decades. They've gotten many mayors in trouble. I'm not saying this mayor, God forbid, but I'm saying past mayors. And so many things that affect the city come through the planning board. And I'm wondering if the planning board is composed properly. The mayor has his rights in the city ordinance to appoint who he appoints and to renew their appointments. I go to planning board meetings and the people there don't really seem interested in the projects. They don't ask questions. And so many things that the city council gets from the planning board, they don't talk about. Like, there are some events coming up tonight. They're just going to go through them and just, as if it's just a number on the list. And these have big not consequences, these have big effects on the entire city. And I'm wondering if the planning board, which has caused so much troubles for past administrations, do they have someone looking over that the people there are doing what they were appointed to do? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question, sir. You are absolutely right. It is the mayor's purview in terms of who is appointed to the planning board, with the exception of one seat being reserved for a member of the council. Yes, Councilman.
Yes, Mr. Wolf, I can't speak directly for the planning board. I never served on the planning board, but as far as I know, it operates just like the zoning board and the city council, meaning that packets are delivered days before meetings. The questions that many of us have, including the council, planning board members, zoning board members, are done well before the meeting. This is so that citizens, it's a courtesy that we give each other and give the community, so that the citizens are not sitting in a planning board meeting which obviously you've been there, and those cases in entirety takes an exorbitant amount of time. So we do our due diligence to call the business administrator, attorneys, and anyone involved, so that we can get feedback and questions answered prior to the meeting. So to say that individuals sit there and don't have meetings, you may want to ask them what questions they had prior to the meeting. The planning board meeting is not just like any other meeting. It's not a show-off meeting so that we can now show up what's going on or whatever. It's a meeting to approve major plans throughout the city. And if you don't do your due diligence prior to the meeting, then our citizens and those that's trying to get things done at the planning board meeting will suffer. And that goes for council, city council, and also zoning. So I just wanted to give you a little history, being serving on both boards, zoning and the city council. This is how it's done.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Schwartz, please.
Thank you. I would just like to take issue with one of the statements that was made. The statement was that previous administrations have gotten into trouble by the planning board or something to that effect. As someone who's been on the planning board for very many years, I have absolutely no idea what this speaker is talking about. And I would just like to put that on the record, that this is an unfounded allegation, or I'm not sure where he was going with that. But just to make a broad statement like that, which is factually without basis, is really not something which should be tolerated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Monk.
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Wolf, you bring up a great point about when you talk about the tax abatements that are available to residents, the single-family homes, two-family homes, and so on. I know the mayor and I had this discussion in the past. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Mayor, I think you took it down to the league.
I did. I submitted
To the League of Municipalities to encourage the state to change the law that if you fix up your home, I think we talked about the exterior of your home.
Yes.
That
Or interior, and if it does not affect the square footage, if you're not increasing square footage, there should be no reason to have your taxes increase. I presented an ordinance at the League of Municipalities to be presented at the state. I believe we've all been advocates of this, but me and Councilman Monk have had extensive conversations regarding trying to bring some relief to taxpayers, even to the point where I tried to present a moratorium at least until the home is sold. If you have an intention of living in that home, why would we de-incentivize you from repairing? We had the attorneys assist us, and I try to present a request at the League of Municipalities to be presented to the state to put a moratorium on adding taxes if someone is making aesthetic repairs or additions to your home, whether you redo a basement, a kitchen, siding, steps. If you're not adding square footage, why are you being taxed more? You're almost discouraging people from fixing their homes. Yes, thank you, Councilman.
Yes, in fact, we spend so much time at Redevelopment Board and all the other agencies to encourage redevelopment with the goal of changing communities. So why do we want to encourage people not to fix up their homes? Because if anytime you do anything, you change the siding in your home, you change your windows, whatever it might be, which enhances the neighborhood, which will enhance the whole block to create that domino effect. People do not do it because they're scared of being reassessed. So the point you bring up is very well taken, and the mayor has tried to even to have this changed, and even to Trenton, but unfortunately, we have not seen success on that front to date. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, if I may.
Mr. Mayor.
I want to echo the statement that was made by Councilman Schwartz. I believe the statement was that the planning board has gotten many mayors into trouble. I believe, or many administrations are elected. I think individuals need to be responsible for their own actions, including myself. I think the planning board, there are plenty of questions, but I do want to remind the public that there is a public portion. Individuals are invited to go to planning board meetings. They can express their concerns. They can attend it. They can express their concerns to the city council, which is evidenced by this caller's participation today. The public is always invited to participate and to comment. I wanted to add, and besides the statements that were made by Councilman Monk, I also wanted to add that he long ago had pushed to address the issues of taxes in terms of home ownership and additions and repair. So I thank you for your leadership, and I think that is a sentiment and a direction that is shared by the entire governing body. There are certain restrictions, as were mentioned, that are state-driven, and we do not have control over. I have presented the potential for a pilot program in Passaic. We've been successful through our assembly representative to have a number of pilot programs begin in Passaic, like the salon and cosmetology industry pilot program that ended up being adopted throughout the entire state of New Jersey because it was presented through our assembly office, our assembly representative. We will continue to pursue this. In fact, most recently, the governor formed a task force. I believe that is correct, Assemblyman, a task force to address property taxes in the state of New Jersey, and perhaps to our assemblyman, we can revisit it, especially if we get our councilman Monk to write enough letters to the assemblyman. That may work. If I may, I wanted to add that besides the tax abatements that are provided to homeowners, there's also a home repair program in our CDBG, our community development department. There are funds that one can apply for home repairs and receive up to $20,000, up to $40,000 to make home repairs where you do not have to pay back that loan if you live in the property for over 8 years. We invite our residents to explore these options as well, along with first-time homebuyer programs. There are many resources. Of course, there is a cap. And I understand the concern when you cap the number of funds that you can receive, but that is intended to ensure that many individuals can access these resources. We do not receive unlimited funds. So if there's a grant or a program that would provide funding for, let's say, a tax abatement, I'll use arbitrary, easy numbers to follow. If we receive $100,000 and one person can apply for it, that means only one person gets it. So we may often cap that program at the max of 20,000 to ensure that 5 individuals or multiple individuals can get it. Those are the purposes of caps. I would like if the council would allow. There was a statement Mr. Wolf made in terms of the representation on planning, and it may go to another statement that I was going to let go. I did address it briefly, but I wanted to say something, and this is more of a personal point of view. Every person is different. Whether we may identify with similar culture, upbringing, or beliefs, our experiences make us different. An individual that was born in Passaic doesn't have the same thoughts that I have. They may have went to school and studied something completely different. They may have studied engineering or law, and they look at things through the lenses of their personal experience, their background, their relationships, and the office and titles that they may hold. I say that because it's important to know that when one looks at a board, volunteer boards that people do not get paid for, or elected boards, or rather elected bodies like the council or Board of Education, understand that whether everyone may be similar in terms of an identification, whether that be gender or anything else that you can identify, I think it is unfair to say that there isn't diverse representation because we consider resolutions, we consider ordinances, we consider law and policy. There needs to be a diversity of thought, of approach. When you're going to add to a conversation, you wish to contribute in a way that would be productive so that we can all come to the best of our ability to a consensus that would better serve the concerns and needs of the residents that we're called to serve. I say that because it's extremely important and unfair. Not only were there hateful comments made, discriminatory comments, and sometimes I admit to the public that I am tempted to want to ask, let them speak. No, there's a particular scripture that reads that if you allow a fool to speak, they will reveal themselves. But I understand that we don't want to fill our meetings with hatred and vile thoughts. And there is an order to meetings. They are dictated by Robert's Rule of Order, and there are council meetings, and the council president has over the years led us in terms of the need for civility and to make sure that we meet the requirements of meetings and get to the business at hand. But I must say this, that I don't think it's ever fair to look at any group attempting to serve and say that they're uniform in thoughts or approach, because that's never the case. I believe that what's important, and as you look at the city, there has been investment in every area of our city. There have been programs expanding recreation opportunities. And obviously, as noted today, things have not been perfect. There are many issues that need to be addressed and resolved, and we are not perfect, and no governing body is. But it takes an entire community to move forward. And I go back to saying this, whether you agree with the people that are in office or volunteering their hours or members in the community to come together, we must be united, not uniform in our thoughts, but united with a common goal for the betterment of the entire community and the progress for all people. And that is important to note because it isn't easy to find volunteers. Councilman Schwartz, who serves on the planning board, and Councilwoman Maritza Colon Montañez, before being a councilwoman here, was the chair. And they came with very diverse views, and individuals on the board came with many diverse views. Just because two people were raised on the same block, may even have similar backgrounds or beliefs, doesn't mean that they're going to look at the same thing and believe the same position. Trust me, I've seen arguments within this governing body. So I wanted to put that on the record because many of us know that what was shared is not acceptable, that it is divisive, vile, disgusting. But there are also times that children watch our meetings, students from schools. There are young people that look to us to be the example. Perhaps maybe we inspire some of them to go into office. So those who may wonder, why are we so passionate in our beliefs, our positions, that we will not tolerate such vile comments or hateful speech or disgusting remarks? Why Council President Scheer was so strong on immediately denouncing what was stated. It is for the community as a whole, but most especially to those who perhaps wonder, is that okay? And I think collectively, we're not there to speak for the whole governing body, but I believe that collectively as a community, the answer is a resounding no. It's never okay to disrespect or to insult others. We can make our points and even attack approaches and say, I don't appreciate your approach. I don't like what you've decided. And even you're not responding the way that I want you to respond. But that must be apart from our race, our background, our beliefs, our practices, our identifications, our gender. And we will be consistent in this always, because that is a commitment that we have made as representatives of all the people, not some, not a few, not even the many, but all. Thank you. Thank you, Council President, for indulging.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a motion to close public hearing, please?
Move it.
Motion and second roll call to close.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Scheer.
Yes, thank you. We're up to Roman numeral 7 on our agenda tonight. Ordinance 2423-23. A proposed ordinance amending the designation of restricted parking for disabled persons by New Jersey license plate number, introduced at November 9 council meeting. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move to open.
Motion, is there a second? Motion and second, roll call to open.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Scheer.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council will be contemplating 2423-23. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this issue and this issue only?
Seeing no hands, I move to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Scheer.
Yes, thank you. On the ordinance, is there a maker, please? Motion
Second.
and second, roll call, please, on the ordinance.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Scheer.
Yes, thank you. The motion passes. Number 2, please. Proposed ordinance 2424-23. An ordinance amending the designation of restricted parking for disabled persons, introduced at the November 9, 2023 City Council meeting. Is there a motion, please, to open public hearing?
Move.
Motion
Second.
and second, roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Scheer.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council will be contemplating proposed ordinance 2424-23. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Seeing no hands, I move to close the public portion.
Mr. Wolf raised
Motion and
his
second
hand.
to close.
Mr. Wolf is on the line.
Was the ordinance passed?
No, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Wolf raised his hand.
well, listen to Mr. Wolf.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Just a minute. I wanted to ask, do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. There are many areas in Passaic, including where I live, where people either are taking a train or a bus, or they're from a different block, or from a basement apartment or an attic apartment, and they park in front of people's houses legally. And they're wondering if the city would be open to some type of either resident parking in front of directly one spot in front of each house.
You are off the ordinance. Would you like to come back to the ordinance? Come back to the ordinance.
Thank you.
Are you off the phone, sir? I guess you are. We had a motion and a second to close.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. On the ordinance, please, is there a motion? Motion and
Second.
second on the ordinance.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Number 3, please. Proposed ordinance 2425-23, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of Passaic, chapter 295, vehicles and traffic, article 16, bus stops, section 38, locations to relocate bus stop on Wall, introduced at the November 10th city council meeting. Is there a motion, please, to open public? If there's a motion, is there a second to open? Roll call, please, to open.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, the council will be deliberating proposed ordinance 2425-23. Is there anyone who'd like to address the council on this item and this item only?
Mr. Wolf again.
Mr. Wolf again. Mr. Wolf? I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf is not here. If you can disconnect the phone call, is there
Seeing no hands, I'm going to close the public portion.
Second.
motion and second to close?
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. On the ordinance, please, is there a maker? Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk? Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. Number 4 and 5 are both set for hearings on December 19. With the council's permission, I'd like to take both items off for consideration tonight and move them to the 19th. Is there any objection? Seeing none at this time, we're up to Roman numeral 8, discussion on authorities and agencies as per the state of New Jersey best practice. Madam Clerk, what are we doing here?
You just have to have a discussion regarding the item in your packet.
Discussion on item in our packet.
Yes. And I believe Mr. Fernandez is on the line for that.
We need Mr. Fernandez on this?
Yes, Council President, just to remind anyone, and if you recall last year, the mayor kind of walked us through the scoring system and we received another A in our best practices. This is our annual best practices review where the point scoring system guarantees us to have our full allocation of state funding. We once again have received over a 90%. We got an A, like the mayor likes to say, and we're receiving our full allocation. And just as far as other authorities and agencies, I just want to report that the parking authority, both the parking authority and the redevelopment agency received their audits with no findings at all and are functioning appropriately.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Any discussion on the item? Thank you very much. If we can, please, do I need to close this item? Is there a motion?
So
please?
moved.
Second.
Motion and second to close.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. We're up to communication, Roman numeral 9 on our agenda, items 6 through 14. Are there any questions, please, on 6 through 14? Seeing no lights at this time, is there a motion, please, to accept 6 through 14?
Move it.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call?
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colom Montañez?
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you. All communications listed are routine in nature. I would like to highlight number 15 and to congratulate the mayor and his appointment of Jamie Delgado as the city's deputy mayor for small businesses and cultural affairs for a one-year term commencing immediately November 30th, 2024. Mr. Mayor, as always, a very wise and significant choice on your part.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions, please, on 15 through 24? Seeing none, is there a motion, please, to accept 15 through 24? Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Love?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Shay.
Yes, thank you. On 25, please. 25 standalone. Is there a motion to accept? 25 motion.
Second.
And second roll call on 25.
Councilman Monk.
Yes.
Councilman Love.
Abstention.
Councilwoman Mello.
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez.
Abstain.
And Council President Shay.
Yes, thank you. We are up to our resolutions, Roman numeral 10 on our agenda this evening. The first is need for a closed session. Ma'am, do we need?
No, Council President.
Mr. Fernandez?
No, Council President.
Very good. Mr. Mayor? Thank you, sir. Members of the council. Very good. If we could disregard 26 at this time. Items 27 through 51. Are there any questions, please, on 27 to 51? Councilman Schwartz, please.
A question on 27.
27, please.
So it's a resolution to rejoin the public entity insurance fund. I thought how long have we not been on the?
No, so it's a renewal. It's a 3-year contract. The 3-year contract is up. We had our broker go out and see if we would do be self-insured again, and they came back saying that they that we should renew with the joint insurance fund.
So it's really renew, not rejoin.
Renew, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not really a renewal. You have to join. You have to decide to stay. So that's why they use the word rejoin.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion case to accept 27 through 51?
I have a question.
I'm sorry, Councilman Monk.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. On item 50, I just understand a few things here. What's the purpose of this resolution in support of this application? What does this resolution do? What's the benefit of a
If
resolution?
I'm not mistaken, Councilman, this is a requirement of the state that the municipality, which has agreed to accept, makes an issue with the state to permit. This council, as you know, has previously committed to entertain applications.
So it's the third paragraph. It says, whereas the city has not issued resolutions of local support for other Class 2 cannabis manufactured businesses, but may issue additional resolutions in the future. That means to say that they are the first one?
That means to say that the city, and I believe that you had not yet joined the meeting, sir. In fact, the ordinances which have been passed by this council at the recommendation of the administration have not set a limitation on the number of licenses that can be granted, nor has it committed itself to granting any such licenses.
So this resolution is necessary for this applicant to be
Correct.
approved by the state.
The resolution to support would be applicable only to this applicant at this round.
Okay.
That's correct. And just so the council's aware, this is the first manufacturing one. Most of them has been for cultivators. So this is the first manufacturing one. With the passage of this resolution, their meeting is on Thursday with the state. If that all comes back with both of these approvals, they will be able to obtain our city license, the first of any class that we have based on our ordinance.
All right. Thank you. The next question I have is why, with this type of applicant, is it necessary to have a hold harmless agreement? In this agreement, it states that that besides the city, but its officials, which includes administration, includes the city council, will be named as insured in their policy. Why does this type of application require the city council or any officer of the city to be covered by insurance, as opposed to any other business in the city that does not require that?
The whole harmless, quite frankly, is just because of timing. Because the meeting is on Thursday and they're there's a gap between our resolution and theirs. We decided to be most cautious and have a hold harmless in case anything transpires. We're protected. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't see a hold harmless.
But the fact that there's even a chance of its necessity worries me. Why would I want to take any personal liability? If there is any liability and this company goes bankrupt or they don't pay their insurance policy, that means any city council person or the mayor, any officer of the city can be personally liable.
No, so it should read the opposite.
Excuse me, I'm looking for.
I just want to clarify, the hold harmless agreement is here because it's specifically required by our cannabis ordinance that contracts like this be executed. So if you looked at 232-20, it would require an agreement of indemnification, which is not unusual for, I think, a number of our vendors. And a lot of the language for the cannabis ordinance was actually taken pursuant to state recommendation.
So, but again, why, first of all, what other business do we have in the city of Passaic that requires the applicant to list the city of Passaic and all of its officers, officials, employees, representatives, agents to be held harmless and to be listed in the insurance policy?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I do recall seeing some other vendors that have to do this. This is, a formality, and it's frankly a protection. If we wanted to, discuss legal, ramifications in more detail, I would suggest closed session.
Okay, I would request that, because if I'm voting on something which opens me to a liability, I want to know what that is prior to voting on something like this. In addition to that, it says here under insurance, the permittee shall maintain insurance at coverage limits with conditions as determined and necessary and appropriate from time to time by the city attorney. Now,
Councilman, excuse me, I'm going to interrupt you if you don't mind. From a question that you had and the attorney answered, I believe it would be advantageous for this council, joined by the mayor, to meet in closed session to discuss this item.
Council President, if I may, can the attorney clarify, the councilman had asked if individual members of the council or the mayor would be held responsible. Is this hold harmless for the applicant or for the city?
It's for the city to hold harmless. And the language is as drafted as broadly, as possible for protections.
To make plain, to protect who? And just for the public to understand, to protect
city's officers.
To protect the city.
not the applicant, but the city.
city.
Yes, so
this is
this
a
agreement would
protection
actually
for the
protect
city.
us from being liable. I just want to clarify that if that's the case.
No, of course, that's what a
Understood.
hold harmless is.
No, I just wanted to make sure, because I believe the statement or the question was whether the individuals on the governing body would be the ones that would be without protection if we pass this. To be clear, if this is passed, this offers protection to the city? Is this a question to be explained in closed session or something that could be plainly explained?
I'm going to insist that this be in closed session, in all due respect.
Sure.
So if we could hold all questions, please, on item number 50. Are there any other questions? Items 27 through 51, accepting 50. Hearing none, is there a motion, please, to accept items 27 through 50?
So move.
Is there a second, please?
It's not through 50.
No.
Council President.
51,
It's 49. and then
51, I'm sorry. 50 or 51?
51, I think it is.
No, it's 50.
50.
He was correct.
Yes.
The council president was correct, 50.
It's a rare occurrence, but thank you. Items 27 through 49 and 51.
So moved.
There is a motion. Is there a second, please? The chair will second for purposes of a vote. Roll call, please, on
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shields.
Yes, thank you. With the council's permission, I'd like to entertain the ordinances for first reading, payment of bills, administrator's report, mayor's report, and then go into closed session if that is to the will and pleasure of the council. Very good. On number 11, please, ordinances for introduction and first reading. Proposed item 52, an ordinance amending the designation of restricted parking for disabled persons. Is there a motion, please, to accept for set down for second and final reading at our meeting of December 19th?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shields.
Yes, please. On 53, proposed ordinance amending city code of the city of Passaic, chapter 295, vehicles and traffic, part 10, residential parking permits, article 21, residential parking permit requirements. Is there a motion to accept for set down on our meeting of December 19? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Councilman Monk, please.
Thank you, Council President. In the ordinance, we're making a few changes, if I'm correct. One is regarding the time of when the ordinance, when it goes into effect, from 12 midnight to 3 a.m. Another change is under paragraph C. Originally said the vehicle must be owned by a person residing in the city of Passaic, in a parking permit zone. It's being changed to the vehicle must be for primary use by a person residing in the city of Passaic. So this is just to take care of the problem in case someone has a vehicle, it's just not in his name.
Yes, if I may, and I specifically have requested to make changes to make it easier for the parking permit. The hours were changed because we realized that there are businesses in operation up till 3 o'clock in the morning. So if individuals are encouraged to come and frequent these businesses and don't have a parking permit, they would inevitably receive tickets. So we wanted to be in line with the time. In terms of the parking permits, we realized that to restrict individuals who live in the city from parking in any area of the city would not take into account whether you're visiting family members on one side of the city or whether you're lending your car to a relative who is not in the zone. So we wanted to make this as easy as possible. The goal is to make sure that anyone who has a parking permit and is a resident of the city can park anywhere in the city and not restrict individuals from one area to another. Those are the changes.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions, please, on 53? Hearing none, is there a motion, please, to accept 53 for set down for second and final reading at our meeting of December 19?
Move it.
Motion
Second.
and second. Thank you. Roll call, please, on 53.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shields.
Yes, thank you. Please, on 54, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition of certain easement interests in properties located at 27 Forest Court and 25 Forest Court in the city of Passaic for the purpose of construction, maintenance, and operation of a sanitary sewer and its components. Is there a motion, please, to accept for set down for second and final reading at our meeting of December 19?
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shields.
Yes, thank you. Are there any questions on the bills, please? Seeing no light, is there a motion, please, to accept the bills as presented?
Move it.
Motion
Second.
and second. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mello,
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez,
Yes.
and Council President Shields.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Fernandez, you have been a real trooper, as sick as you are to have participated this far in the meeting. If we can ask you to hold on just a little while longer, so that we can get your guidance and thoughts on item number 50. Mayor, did you have anything?
briefly, I know the council members wanted me to make this statement on the best practices, understanding that the work of the city is not done by any one individual, but rather by different department heads, employees, staff, and everyone working together along with the governing body. I want to thank all of the department heads, all of the staff. I want to thank our business administrator, all those who work in administration for once again this year ensuring that we can get this best practice rating as an A. This is an objective evaluation of the way we govern, the way we run the administration, and to once again be recognized by the state as they go through every aspect of our government, from police, fire, from finance, clerk, recreation, every single department. And I, once again, I know the council wanted me to say this to all the department heads and all the employees. Thank you for all your hard work, commitment, and once again ensuring that the state recognizes our city and our efforts to make sure that we provide the highest quality of service to our residents to the best of our abilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like a motion, please, to on item number 50 for the council to go into closed session to discuss action may or may not be forthcoming. Is there a motion, please?
Yes, I move that we go into closed session for purposes of item 50.
Motion, is there a second, please?
Second.
Motion and second on 50. Roll call, please.
Councilman Monk,
Yes.
Councilman Love.
Yes.
Councilman Mello.
Yes.
Councilman Short,
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Colon Montañez.
Yes.
And Council President Sher.
Yes, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining with us tonight. May I please ask you respectfully to please vacate council chambers for the council to go into closed executive session.
This is on. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Thank you. Oh, where's the beat?